Morning. So today we're going to remove the twist from a board. Truth be told, this video started out, or this project started out as a cutting board project, and dummy me, I didn't have the piece, my work piece secured good enough on the CNC spoil board, and it came loose in the middle of the carve, and I pretty much ruined a very interesting piece of yellowheart. But I have footage of taking the twist out, so I thought I'd at least salvage that and share that with you. So wood isn't perfect, and it'll move on you, and a lot of times you get a nice piece of wood, but it's got a little cup in it, or it's got a little twist in it. And if you're like me, I don't have a joiner, so I have to use a thickness planer, table saw, do it the hard way. So I thought I'd show you how we get this twist out of the board. So grab a cup of coffee and enjoy. Thanks. I know we've got one little problem here. It's got a bit of a twist in it, so we're going to have to mill that out. Alright, so here's our piece of yellowheart. I've got it sitting on what I use for my thickness planer sled, and I've got a couple of shims that I've made to slide under here. So let me show you again what the problem is. We'll take the shims out, and we'll see we got this little bit of twist in the board, and we want to get this flat. So we'll set it on our thickness planer sled. I think this worked better if I had them the other way around. And we'll shim it in here. So now it doesn't rock anymore. So what we'll do, I've got my hot glue gun out here. It's it helped if I turned it on. So it will heat up. We'll set that aside and let it heat up. And we're going to go ahead and put some pencil marks on here. And this will sort of help me monitor. That's weird that kind of bows up there. I think we'll put this end in first. We'll feed it that way. That's kind of weird. Obviously this end looks like it had gotten wet or something, like that was maybe sitting on the floor and it soaked up some moisture through the end grain, because this end looks pretty ratty compared to that one. We'll see what it looks like after we plane it off. I may have to, we've got some cracks and stuff in here, which I don't necessarily mind if we can fill them. But we may have to shorten this up a little bit just to get out of this damaged part. We'll make that decision later. Let's see how we're doing here. We got any glue coming out yet? It's getting warm, but it's not warm enough. I tell you what, we will pause the video and come back when I got some glue. All right, the glue is flowing, so we will just use a little bit of hot glue to get things adhered to the sled. We got our shims glued on, and a little glue on the board itself. We don't want it sliding around. Hot glue is always such a mess. but it works so well for this type of deal. Alright, well, hopefully that'll be enough. Shut this off. Gotta get this stringy. So the concept here is when the board goes through the thickness planer, the roller is putting pressure on it. So if we don't shim it, it's going to move when it goes through the planer. So we shim it so that it's stable. And hopefully we can get this face to be exactly parallel with the sled. Alright, so we'll let the glue cool and set up here, and we'll get the planer ready, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so we're set up here on the planer. If you can see how I have the camera set up so I can get that high angle and shoot down, you'd have to chuckle. It's sitting on top of my shop vac, which is the part of my dust collector setup. So hopefully the camera doesn't tip over in the middle of this. So, and anyway, we're on the sled. I've got my depth set, so it eventually will find a high spot in there. It's going to get loud, so there won't be much dialogue during this process, but what we're going to do is just take a little bit off at a time and keep running it through until our pencil marks disappear. And then we'll check it and see if we got it flat. So, alright, here we go. And yes, I don't have my ear protection, it's in the house, and I'm not going to run back and get it. It's going to get a little loud, but I'm an old man, so it's just the way it goes. Alright, well that yellowheart really starting to show through. So one thing we want to do now is, since we've removed material from this side, I want to flip it over and take some material off the other side too, so they're both sides of the board are treated the same, and hopefully that'll eliminate any wood movement. You don't want to warp or cup the board. Now that new wood is exposed to the air, moisture, I don't know what the moisture content of this board is, but if one side dries out faster than the other, or it's, I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's pouring out today, so we know the humidity and the dew point's really high. If moisture is going to be going into the wood, we want it going in equally on both sides to hopefully avoid any wood movement. So that's the next step, is to get it off the sled and run the other side through the plane, and hopefully then we've got a flat board and we can get set up and do some machining on the CNC. So, all right, stand by. Alright, so hopefully this will come off our sled easy. And we can see how we did as far as flattening. But we're happy with the way that worked. There we go, that seems pretty good. Make a little bit of a wiggle, but not much. Good enough for a cutting board, that's for sure. Let's get the rest of our glue off of here. Tell you what, sometimes the glue comes easy, sometimes not so much. So there you go, tried, true, tested method for using a thickness planer to flatten out a board that's either cupped or twisted on you. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something. I hope that saves some of your stock from the fire pit. All right, thanks for watching.